fist size, does it you see it or is it just
you feel it?
Yeah, because she said we felt it. And
Where did you feel it?
Yeah.
I just find that amazing because most people describe, the size of things in terms of fruit. It's like grapefruit size.
Well, I think I wrote back and it was like, I might have said something like, how do you feel it was that versus like a watermelon sized ball?
Yeah. I just assumed they'd feel pretty similar. I don't know.
That's my job. That's really weird. Writing. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I got a quick question. What was the point where you just kind of had to step back and say, "Wow, I can't believe I get paid for this"?
I do that every night.
Yeah, pretty much every morning.
How about the fact that you're on a panel drinking and
exactly.
people are laughing at everything you say?
Yeah. So my point about that, I did this comic about how the internet doesn't have every fetish because there are infinite possible things crazy people can do, and the internet is finite, and so I said, for example, and I named a couple of fetishes that, as far as I didn't exist on the internet. I searched for them, I couldn't find them. One of them was that people playing guitar in the shower, and I thought, you could really eroticize that. Beads of water on the guitar string. You pluck the string, and there's like, the rippling, the water coming off of it. And then at the same time I registered wetriffs.com and let people submit pictures, and so there's this nice gallery up there now of all the pictures people submitted that they took to fill that gap in the internet, and I got, at one point someone sent in some pictures as a joke and mentioned to her brother that she had sent them in, or sent them into the site, but she emailed them, so I had trouble getting them. So he had to contact me on IRC and said, "Hey Randall, did you get those pictures of my sister in the shower?" And at that point I just stepped back and said, I have the best job that can possibly
Have you ever been sent music that was created in the shower?
Pretty hard to do.
No, no, I don't think I have. There was this one who sent one that packaged and it said that that's what it was, and then I clicked on it and it was a Rickroll. But
challenge all of you.
Wait, I was just listening to a song. It was it's by Bare Naked Lady, something recorded in the bathroom. I don't know what song that was.
Weird Al's first album was recorded in the bathroom
Yeah,
as well.
totally. And Everyone Rides the Bus, recorded in the bathroom. Why do I know that? All right, moving on. You in the front.
Yeah, no, I have another question actually. You had mentioned last night you've never been to college, right?
Pardon?
You have never been to college, right?
Yeah, I never went to college. I was lucky enough to start this off so I didn't have to waste money on college.
Right, yeah, just shot into it. And it begs the question almost, I'm just curious, I'm noticing that you guys are like our age. You're all pretty much the same age as us, and extremely fortunate, obviously, skilled as well. But I think of like, my parents would go crazy for the Beatles, who were the same age as them at the time, and now occasionally they'll buy a Paul McCartney album or something, but for the most part, well, since most of them are dead, but for the most part, these old bands, these old fads and memes and ideas fade, and you guys will always be awesome to me. But I'm just kind of wondering, you've never been to college, and you guys are just kind of drinking and drawing, and I don't worry about Randall because he's like some kind of super evil genius, but what's going to happen? Eventually, nothing lasts forever. Nothing gold can stay.
All right. So what's your retirement plan? That's
yeah,
the question.
I figure when
either any guys 401ks.
You guys gonna be working at Subway or?
No. So what I figure is that when we get old, we're just and everything, culture's moved on. We don't know what to make fun of anymore. We aren't in touch with all that stuff. We're just gonna freak the hell out of all the kids at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
if they're not, if they don't out-freak us, but
we'll see. I mean, I think that our generation can run for their money.
And will you have any money left?
I'm gonna put it on hookers.
Yeah.
I already do all on hookers.
Well, if the '80s is any notice, they'll be making movies of each of your comics in about 10 years.
Sweet.
So.
Yeah,
and then they'll have to make all the sequels.
Yeah, you'll be like MC Hammer, untouchable.
To answer your question honestly, though, for a minute, I realize that Silent Happiness isn't going to last forever. So what my goal is now is to kind of expand, try new things now, and see what's going to be the next thing after.
Couldn't agree more.
What do you think?
Well,
it's going to be.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've talked about this kind of lately, kind of being here in Connecticut, and I realized that being asked a question actually last night here at our panel yesterday that that's what else do you do on your during your personal life aside from comics? Do you actually have real lives? And when I thought about it. Yeah, I do all these other like side projects, like making videos and making music and everything. And I found out that everything that I do for fun, I end up making money from it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
You know what?
hard
The
in
really
life.
weird point.
Wow,
Life,
you're making
no.
money off everything.
The
just
really
that,
weird
you know,
point for
it's-
me.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, it's just it's kind of just investing yourself into a passion. That's
And
all it
Yeah.
is.
Being
Well,
really
and the
lucky.
point where that hit me was I realized that I'm doing comics, and that's what I make money from. And I'm using that to support my, and it supports my hobby of programming.
Exactly.
And, and that was kind of weird. Like I'm doing art to support my, as a living while I program on the side.
Do you mention to your programming people that you do this comic? I mean, do those worlds kind of collide?
At this point, all the programming people I know I met through XKCD.
Oh.
So I mean,
Yeah.
well, like at this point, I mean, at this point, a lot of the people I know I met after I started doing XKCD. I've moved around a lot, but.
Can I have a job?
It's your resume.
All right, over here.
Question for Randall. I mean, obviously, your qualifications are, phenomenal outside of just,
Have you looked at my GPA, my transcripts? I don't know how I got that job that I had, but
I think, all right, flattery aside, let's say this, that, you have a very well-known comic that
Okay,
really,
sure.
that really showcases your knowledge of science, mathematics, etc. Do you get people actually scouting you, looking for, like, hey, we could use a programmer, hey, you've got a great personality, we love your sense of humor. Do you get people scouting you for jobs ever?
I had a few people who want to use the XKCD thing. We're doing this promotion thing. We think XKCD will like this project. Do you want to do some promotional stuff for us or an album cover, that kind of thing? But I mean, people who are looking for a programmer, I think, don't think to email me about it or looking for something like that. I think that's it. And then there's the problem that I mean, especially if you're looking for a programmer who works hard rather than looking at pictures on the internet all the time. But no, I think that there's this problem. There's this issue that once you work for yourself, you never work for anyone else again. That it's that and it's cool. Like when you're working for someone, you can do really cool work. It's just that once you're your own boss, once you're doing a job on your own, there's just something psychologically that happens that you're not going to be able to work for someone else.
Yeah, but before the comic took off, I actually quit my job and did freelance web development just because I did not like my boss at all. He was absolutely terrible. And so being able to work for yourself, even before this actually took off, there's a different kind of freedom being able to set your own hours and pick and do jobs that only you want to do. It's really, really freeing.
There was this rant, and to find it, I had to dig into the Internet Archive. Because I bookmarked it at one point, because I was like, this is something useful, I should look at this in a few years and make sure my life hasn't gotten off track. And I bookmarked it in college, and it was called Quit Your Fucking Job. and it basically said, let's analyze, here are your prospects with your current job. Do you feel like this about it? Do you feel like this about it? Here's what could happen if you quit your job, here's what you do this. And it made a really good argument for try something crazy, see if it works. If not, try to get a job like the one you have right now again. But, and it made a really good argument. And I felt sort of depressed reading it because I was like, well, I mean, that's cool in theory, but I don't think I can actually do it. And then I sort of surprised myself by doing it. And I don't know if that influenced me, but
Yeah, I worked a 9 to 5 from when I was 14 up until when this kind of took off when I was turning 17. And I don't know. Basically, I did the math, finding out that the more hours I spend I worked at Pizza Hut at the time. And the more hours I worked at Pizza Hut, the less I was making because I wasn't investing it into doing what I liked to do.
I actually found Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
He
Terry Pratchett.
He wrote that he quit his job as a nuclear regulatory, some kind of PR officer, engineer, something like that. He said he quit that job when he realized that every day he went into the office, instead of staying home writing, he was losing money.
Right.
And I call that the Pratchett point, like when
Nice.
you realize you're hitting that point.
Yeah, well,
That's just a good term for things, really.
Yeah.
yeah, but my
But
Pratchett
exhaust.
point was Pizza Hut and not really nuclear engineering.
Pizza Hut point. I'll go with it. The pizza
Yeah.
point.